welcome to Caregiver Matters. I wanted to talk with you today about some work that I've been doing in my academic life on decline in older adults. So many of you may know that I'm an assistant research professor at the Aging Studies Institute at Syracuse University. Some of the work that I've been doing in the last year or so has been with the Health Foundation of Western and Central New York. We've been working on developing a conceptual model called the Triggers of Decline model. A conceptual model, for those of you who are not familiar with that term, is just a way of laying out on the page a social problem or phenomenon and the factors that are interrelated in that phenomenon. So in the case of the Triggers of Decline model, if you look online at our policy brief or the white paper, and the link will be below here, below the video. If you look online, you'll see there's a graphic that's sort of like an egg-shaped graphic. The individual is in the middle, surrounded by individual level factors that can be triggers of decline, and then there's another ring of community level factors, and then there's another ring of system and society level factors. This sort of follows the ecological systems theory model of Bronfenbrenner. If you're a sociologist or a social worker or public health, you might have heard of that. So, and then we have other pages that list all the examples of individual level triggers that might fall into those categories that are in the ecological model. So the reason why we started working on this is because I think many of us experience in our life at one point or another an older adult who has an event that we think of as like a singular event, like they fell on the ice. And if they were 40 and they fell on the ice, it would have been a singular event, right? They might have had a bruise for a couple days and they would have gone on with their life as normal. And we sort of anticipate as we get older that we will continue to have that same level of resilience. But what happens is quite different depending on how old the person is and their nutrition and their physical fitness level and all that stuff. So that a simple fall can become the trigger that starts this decline into frailty. So people who fall, older adults who fall, are more aware of the potential for falling, so they might develop a fear of falling. That fear of falling might cause them to reduce their physical activity. That reduction in physical activity can result in a reduction in physical strength and then in a reduction of mobility, the ability to move themselves around independently. So all those things can kind of lead to each other. And then that person can become at risk for more falls because of their limited mobility and their reduced physical strength and their fear. So as a caregiver, that will follow that example through. So as a caregiver, when a person has a fall, what you want to do is find out why they had the fall. So you want to ask them questions like, where did it happen? What were you doing? When did it happen? Why do you think it happened? And then how do you feel about that it happened? Because sometimes they're afraid, or sometimes they're angry, or sometimes, lots of things. So then you identify those factors. What is it? When is it? Why is it? Right? Was it at night because they couldn't really see the floor in their house because the lighting is too dim, or because their night vision isn't good, or because they have cataracts, or is it that there's stuff, if you go into their house, is there a lot of clutter around the edges of the room that's kind of encroaching into the room? Maybe you can organize and provide some storage, shelves or something to get the stuff up off the floor so that they have a clearer path to walk. Is it area rugs tripping them up? You need to tape them down or remove them. Is it that they don't wear the proper footwear and then they trip because they don't have shoes on or whatever? So figure out what the environmental factors are to help prevent future falls. And then you can address the physical factors within the person. Like, is it that they don't walk very much anymore? Maybe go walking with them or have friends go walking with them. So a daily walk can really help maintain the person's ability to walk, right? Is it a question of trying to rebuild their physical strength? Maybe they could go to a water aerobics class or go do some exercise in the water or some low impact exercise at the gym with you or something to kind of build up their strength. Physical activity and fitness also helps with mental acuity and delaying the onset of dementia and sharpening the mind. And so these things are all interrelated, which is why the loss in one system can lead to a trigger of decline in all systems, and why you can intervene in one system and kind of help boost function in all systems. So that's really my message for you today. As caregivers, Don't assume that these events are isolated and aren't going to lead to anything else. Think of them as opportunities for you to intervene and improve the circumstances of your loved ones to prevent their loss of independence and to keep them moving and feeling strong longer. So that's it for now. If you have experienced one of these triggers that you see in the model, and if you want to talk about what happened for other caregivers to read about, you can leave comments below the video to talk about those things. You can also ask for other topics you'd like to hear me talk about in the comments below the video. And please subscribe to this page so that you can get notified when new videos are released. And anything else you want to communicate to me in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. This video ran a little bit long. I apologize for that. I usually try to keep it under 3 minutes, but today's topic was a little more involved, so I hope you don't mind, and I hope you stuck out with me to the end. And until we meet again, please take care of yourself because you are the most important person in your life.